Hello everybody, Internet back again with another video. Alright, my tennis fans all over the world, today's video is going to be about Novak Djokovic. I am in this Novak Djokovic mode. I am in this the greatest of all time tennis player mode. I am in this GOAT mode, Novak Djokovic. I want to do a video about him. He just recently won his 101st title in his career. Yeah, I know it was not a 500 class tournament. It was not a Masters. It was not a Grand Slam. It was a 250 tournament that he won. His second 250 tournament that he wins this year. He has won only 2 titles this year, and both of them has been 250 class tournaments. He won the Geneva title a couple of months ago in summer before the French Open earlier this year. And then he now won the title in Greece, in the capital city, Athens, in a thriller match against Lorenzo Musetti after a 3 hours battle. I've already covered up that match. You have not seen my video, can do that and check it out. This video will be to talk about Novak Djokovic motivation. I've heard this topic so many times in different social medias from tennis coaches, one of them being Patrick Materuglu, or whatever how his last name is pronounced. I for sure maybe I've pronounced his last name wrong. He's one of them who has touched on this topic and many others around the world, and the topic being is Novak Djokovic motivated to go and still play tennis? Is the reason why Novak Djokovic has not won so many titles the last 2 years, 2024 and 2025, due to his lack of motivation? That is what I want to touch on this topic. This is the topic I want to take my teeth into. Because last year Novak won only 1 title, 2024, which was a big one, the Olympic gold medal. His only big title that was missing in his big cabinet. And then this year he has won 2 titles. Both of them has been 250 class tournaments. And he has played 3 finals. The other final that he played earlier this year was in that Miami Open final, where he lost in straight sets against Jakob Mensik. He has done a good year. Look, if somebody else would have done this year, say Felix Alasime or Denis Shapovalov or Daniel Medvedev, if some of these 3 would have played 3 Grand Slam semifinals in this year, they would have been really, really happy about that. Speaking about Medvedev, who, by the way, has won only 1 Grand Slam match this year. He lost the first round of the French Open, he lost the first round of Wimbledon, he lost the first round of the US Open, and he lost in the second round at Australian Open earlier this year. So he won only 1 match this year in the Grand Slam tournaments, Daniel Medvedev. So Djokovic, considering that he's a part-time tennis player nowadays, he has done a decent season. Not a great one, because it is Djokovic. We have high expectations on him, but considering that he is 38 years old, and when he started the season he was 37, and later on he became 38, and playing 4 Grand Slam semifinals, and he lost 3 of them against Sinner and Alcaraz, and 1 against Alexander Sasha Zverev, where he pulled out of the first set. We all remember in that Australian Open semifinal, Novak played only 1 set and then he pulled out due to injury. So he has done a tremendously good season, considering that how old he is and considering who he lost against in these Grand Slam tournaments. Like I said, 3 of them he lost against the Alpha Hannes of tennis, Jannik Sinner and Carlos Alcaraz. He lost against Sinner at French Open, against Sinner at Wimbledon, and against Carlos Alcaraz at US Open. By the way, he lost all of these 3 semifinals: Sinner at French Open, Sinner at Wimbledon, and Alcaraz at US Open in straight sets. So he never was close in defeating them. Nevertheless, is Novak Djokovic motivated? That is the topic of this video. And I'm going to answer the question to you, my tennis fans all over the world. I'm here to answer the question. That's why I'm here. Did you see his celebration after he won a 250 class tournament in Athens, in Greece? Yesterday? Not yesterday, a couple of days ago, in Saturday. Did you see his celebration? Did you see how he celebrated that victory? He celebrated that victory by ripping his shirt off a la Australian Open 2012. He did exactly the same thing after playing the longest Grand Slam final in history, 5 hours and 53 minutes, 13 years ago, back in 2012, against Rafael Nadal. One of the greatest tennis matches of all time. And according to some, the greatest tennis match of all time. But when he did that, it was understandable. He just won the longest Grand Slam final ever after an epic 5-setter against his biggest rival in his career. Yeah, Nadal is Novak's biggest rival. It is not Federer. It is Nadal that Djokovic has faced 60 times and not Federer. Federer he has faced 50 times. But he did the same here at Athens. Here in Athens, when he won that final against Musetti after a 3-hour battle, he just ripped his shirt off like he just has won a Grand Slam title. Do you know why he did that? Because he knows that this late in his career, nothing is a certain thing for Djokovic anymore. He knows that he will not win a Grand Slam title anymore. He most likely also knows he will not win a Master 1000 title anymore. And he knows that to win a 500 class tournament will also be very, very difficult. It is not like Djokovic doesn't believe that he doesn't. It is not like Djokovic doesn't says to himself and says, no, Novak, you don't have a chance of winning another Grand Slam title. You just don't have a chance. But he knows that all odds are against him. For him to win another Grand Slam title, which he, of course, very, very much wishes, many things needs to go his way. Like Alcaraz breaking a leg, like Sinner breaking and hurting a knee, something like that. And even there, if they do, it is not a certain thing that he will win the Grand Slam title. Because we saw in Shanghai, Alcaraz didn't play that Shanghai Masters. Sinner lost early in that Shanghai Masters with cramps. And I was one of them who said that Djokovic now is the favorite. Djokovic is the man to beat in this Shanghai Masters tournament. And we all know what happened. He lost in the quarterfinal against the journeyman from Monaco, Vacherot, who, by the way, ended up winning the entire thing. So that's why Novak, every single tournament that Novak Djokovic enters, every single tournament that Novak Djokovic plays, every single tournament that Novak Djokovic is in the draw, he is there because he is 110% motivated to win that bloody tournament. If he's not 110% motivated, he will not be there in the first place. Why did he pull out the ATP finals in Turin? Why did he pull out there? Yes, of course, he has had for sure some trouble with his shoulder, but that is not the biggest problem. Last year he was not hurt in the 2024 season. He pulled out in the ATP Tour finals in Turin even last year as well. I'm going to tell you the answer, baby. He doesn't believe he can win it. He doesn't enter tennis tournaments when he doesn't believe he can win them. He doesn't believe he can win it at all. Now, some of you can say, but he's entering the Grand Slam tournaments. Yeah, of course, Grand Slams are Grand Slams. For God's sake, that is the World Cup of tennis. He will play them as long as he plays tennis. He will not pull out from the Grand Slam tournaments, but because it is Grand Slams for sure. It is the biggest tennis tournaments we have in tennis. But ATP Tour Finals, he knows Sinner is there, Alcaraz is there, No way. I'm out of here. I'm out of here. I don't want to. He wants to finish his ATP Tour final career on top. Why not? He wants to finish that career on top. He will never play ATP Tour finals again. Never. Even if he qualifies next year, 2026, he will not play. He won it for the 7th time, 2023, and surpassed Roger Federer, where he shared the record with him before, with 6 titles there. And he surpassed Federer, which has surpassed Federer in millions of records. Poor Federer. Novak Djokovic has surpassed Federer in millions of records. And he won it for the 7th time, 2023. And he won it by defeating the Alpha Hanas of tennis nowadays. Alcaraz in the semifinals gave him a beatdown. Sinner in the final gave Sinner a beatdown. Yeah, Alcaraz and Sinner they were not the same player that they are today. But nevertheless, he knows, the entire world knows, Novak Djokovic defeated those 2 superstars back to back. And he wants to be remembered for that, in that particular tournament. So why bother playing there where he doesn't stand a chance? He doesn't stand a chance. Look, Novak Djokovic is a tremendously good tennis player. He's the greatest tennis player of all time, without any shadow of a doubt. Those Roger Federer fanboys who say, but Federer is the greatest tennis player of all time. No, Djokovic is not. Federer. Give me a break. Give me a break, for God's sakes. Get out of here. Get out of my sight. No, Federer is not the greatest tennis player of all time. You know what? Do you know what I will say? Federer is not even close to Novak's level. He's not even close. We can have a discussion. Who is the second greatest tennis player of all time? Is it Nadal or is it Federer? Is it Nadal or is it Federer? But Federer being compared to Novak, no. No, baby, no. Look at the stats. Novak has more weeks number 1 than Federer. Novak has more Grand Slam titles than Federer. Novak has much more Master 1000 titles than Federer. Novak has much more year-end number 1s than Federer. Novak has more ATP Tour finals than Federer. Novak has won all the Masters 2 times at least. Federer has not even won all the Masters once. And I for sure have forgot something. Let alone talking about the big titles where Novak is way ahead of Federer. Where in hell is Federer close to Djokovic? Where in freaking hell is Federer close to Djokovic? Tell me, I want to know. I'm listening. Tell me, baby, give me the answers. Give me the answer. Where is Federer close to Novak Federer? Where is Federer close to Novak Djokovic in level? Where? Tell me where. Only in the style. Federer has a much better tennis style, much more versatile style, much more beautiful style. Federer is a shot maker, absolutely. If somebody of you can say to me, Federer, for me, is much more joyful to watch. I agree 7 days in the week, because I'm one of them who has that opinion. But Federer being close to Novak in level, no way in hell. Numbers never lie. I rest my case when it comes to that topic. But, because this video is about another topic. But, if somebody of you out there says Djokovic is not winning the slams anymore, Djokovic is not winning the Masters anymore, Djokovic is not winning titles like he used to do 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, because he lacks motivation, you are freaking out of your mind. You are out of your mind. Djokovic is 38 freaking years old. Look at his physicality. You could even see in that Athens tournament where the rallies were long, he was getting exhausted. Did you see the match against Borges? When the rallies was super long, he was getting exhausted. Even in the final match against Lorenzo Musetti in the 3rd set, Djokovic, time to time in the 3rd set, he was looking cooked. That is father time. Father Time is undefeated. That is why Novak Djokovic is fully motivated every single time he plays a tennis tournament. Even if it's 250 class tournament, he is there to win. He's not there to just entertain the crowd. He is there to bloody lift the trophy and not to entertain the crowd. So you of guys who says that Novak Djokovic is not fully motivated, you are just talking bullshit. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give a thumbs up, subscribe. Peace.